Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Alexander Hilly123 here, and it's time for a new video. And as you can see from the title, it is time for no ordinary video today. It is time for my Dead Space 2 hardcore difficulty walkthrough. And I have already done a walkthrough of Dead Space 2 before, but that was zealot difficulty. This is hardcore, the difference being that zealot, you do take more damage than any other difficulty. It is a very challenging difficulty indeed, but on hardcore you only get 3 saves for the entire game. It's a permadeath difficulty, meaning if you die you will go back to your last save, or if you haven't saved at all you will lose all your progress, and thus it really adds a different aspect to the game, makes you feel much more on edge and nervous. And believe you me when I say that that can really hinder your gameplay when you're second guessing everything, knowing you could lose all your progress. Hardcore is a very fun, fair but challenging difficulty. I think it's gone down as a legendary difficulty among survival horror players and these kind of games that have these really hard difficulties which are challenging. You know, the kind that you've got to complete the game first to do. And I'm just happy to have brought this to the channel. Now, first things first, I've got to tell you guys, don't worry, the video will start running in 40 seconds or so, but this is post-commentary, meaning I recorded all the gameplay yesterday, and now I am narrating over what you are going to be seeing. I'm obviously going to be talking a lot of shit as well, as I do, but during some of the harder parts, I'll say what's going on. And I'm not the best Dead Space 2 player in the world, but I've played this game a lot. I know quite a bit about it. I did it in 2 sittings. I didn't die either, so I did it on first try, because regardless of how many times you play this game, you can always die to something. A bit too many explosions, so I might like it in this game. But yeah, this is just something I really wanted to bring to the channel. It's going to be one video for every chapter. That's the way that we're going to be doing it. I thought about doing it all in one, but it's going to be like 5 or 6 hours. I'm not uploading something that big. Oh, there's the game just starting. Now, the game's volume, hopefully you'll be able to hear me over any dialogue in the game. Needless to say, this is a walkthrough and it's about strats, it's not about the story, because you get people like that on YouTube. Oh, I don't want you talking over this. Well, there are plenty of no commentary guides out there. This is a commentary guide, ladies and gentlemen, so there you jolly well go. And sometimes I just like allowing myself to talk to myself for like 25 minutes. Oh, hey up, I'm going into the settings here. What we're doing? Turning the subtitles on. And also, I think I do something else here with the controls. Putting the sensitivity up 1 to 3 and the aiming to classic. So the aiming is like Dead Space 1. Instead of the center aiming there. I will change it back to center for a very small period of time later on. Speak of why that's the case when it happens. It happens about 3 or 4 different times in the game. But yeah, I've done a Dead Space 1 Impossible playthrough, walkthrough, and did Zealot on the second game, and then the DLC to Dead Space 2. There is no hardcore in the DLC, just Zealot, no permadeath. But all that was without commentary, so I'm really glad to be able to finally do a commentary walkthrough of this incredible game, a game which is probably one of my top 10 of all time.
You know they're gonna decommission her next year.
Isaac, thank you.
For what?
This game is nearly 10 years old, ladies and gentlemen. It was released in January 2011. Look how good it looks. This is when EA were probably at their peak of not being as evil as they could be. Like, they were evil, then they made good games for a bit, or published good games for a bit, and then they went evil again, and I don't think they're ever coming out of that evil phase now, but this is around the time of Mass Effect being at its best, Mirror's Edge, this, many other games which they were publishing and developing.
What was her name?
I didn't want it to end like this. I really wanted to see you.
Also, between now and the end of the year, Dead Space 3 will also be coming to the channel. However, that's not going to be a walkthrough. It's going to be a Let's Play. Some people don't know the difference, and I always mention it. It's going to be on normal difficulty, and we're just going to have fun, because I don't like Dead Space 3 anywhere near as much as 1 and 2. With Dead Space 3, you've got to enjoy it for what it is.
A mission for which
an
you
action
volunteered,
game.
am I right?
Still looks beautiful, still fun to play, just nowhere near as good as the first two games. Let's just blame EA. Because genuinely,
They find aboard the ship.
they were the main reason.
Did you have contact with this marker? It made you see things, didn't it? Things you didn't want to see.
Make it whole, motherfuckers, make it whole, motherfuckers.
What did it say to you, Isaac?
Make it whole, motherfucker.
Isaac, can you hear me?
This game's pacing is on another level. A lot of money went into this game, and it still stands up today, nearly 10 years later. And these are exactly the kind of games that aren't being made anymore.
I found Isaac Clarke. Repeat, I have him.
Great work, Franco. Be careful. He's been out a long time.
Oh, yeah. Good, good. Steady, steady, steady. We gotta get you out of this straitjacket. Where am I? Alright, I know you're confused right now. I can explain everything, but you gotta trust me, okay? Listen, you're in terrible, terrible danger.
The wreckage. Great intro to the game as well. Pacing, early doors. Get a bit lower. You realise that now Isaac can speak, unlike the first game. I'm not too keen on silent protagonists anymore, me. I think that Gunnar Wright did a good job as him in this game, and the third game, even though the dialogue wasn't as good. Shame you can't skip that initial cutscene, especially when you're doing hardcore, because you can die in this area, and if you do, guess what? You lose everything. But hardcore in the third game should never have been a thing, in my opinion. The way that hardcore is in this game, I did mention at the beginning of the video, you get free saves. If you die, you go back to your last save, or if you didn't save it at all, you lose everything. Dead Space 3, you can save the game as many times as you want, but as soon as you die, the game deletes your save file, and that's it. So there's just no fun to be had with that, in my opinion. But also, there's so many stupid things with that game, like rock climbing. That's honestly the most common thing people will die to, the rock climbing parts, which were just stupid and irritating as hell. Yeah, no way I'm doing a walkthrough of that game, because I'm not good enough. We've got Hans Tideman, ladies and gentlemen. Jazz hands. And he's a great villain in this game. Unlike the Elton John lookalike in the third game, whose name escapes me at this moment in time. Stross, a great character. We'll meet Ellie later. She was so cool in this game before EA ruined her in the third. And here is Edgar's Foster. I think he's lost it, ladies and gentlemen.
All the key subjects need to be eliminated, terminated. Which one more? Listen to me, man. What matters? Listen to me.
Two gentlemen both screaming.
Just cut me out of this straitjacket. No one's getting out of here alive. Don't do it.
Great moment. So many games at the moment that EA are remastering. We heard about a year or two back that they were going to do that, and indeed they have. Still no official confirmation on whether Mass Effect's getting the HD treatment within the whole of the trilogy. But Crysis has, and they announced it, and then they showed the reveal trailer and all that, and said, here's the release date. And now they delayed it, sorry, because people are criticising it so much. It's like, Crysis was pretty cool. Not my kind of game to replay all the time, but I appreciated it. Oh, it was pretty good. Dear Lord, that is horrifying. But I'm not going to be buying it again, remastered. Oh dear Lord. Clark is going sick. I do believe I dragged this guy along for a while.
Clark. Isaac Clark, is that
A new
you?
waifu
My
appears.
name is Dana. I'm the one trying to rescue you.
Why? What's going on?
You're suffering from a unique form of dementia, Isaac.
She's a
Something you can
motherfucking
judge from
waifu.
age 7.
A waifu.
How do you know all this about me?
Your dementia will kill you. But if you can get here, I can treat you and get you to safety.
Why should I?
The heads are rolling.
Because I'm
Keep
not the one
rolling,
shooting
rolling,
at you.
rolling, rolling. What?
Just follow the route I'm sending you.
Now you know you've been loving this shit right here. Horrendous jump scare coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Scares the pants off everyone. First time they play the game. Obviously this first video gonna be a bit more boring, a bit more mundane, absolutely no combat going on whatsoever. These games always start slowly. And many other survival horror games, similar games in nature as to do Dead Space games, which start even slower. Where really it takes 20-30 minutes to get into the proper gameplay. That's the thing with these games, they're getting bigger, they're getting longer. Oh baby! But in my opinion it makes them less playable, less replayable I should say. I'm looking at the new Last of Us 2 game, you know, that's a complete shitstorm, needless to say, but
If Tideman finds you, more people will die.
there's just a lot of walk and talk and a lot of moments where
To like it.
the story's being explained but not in cutscenes. Flashbacks and walk and talk parts and areas that are too open. I've complained about this before. My issue with open games isn't... Like, I've loved certain open world games in the last couple of years. Like Outer Worlds, Days Gone, sorry if I said that incorrectly. And a few others as well. Sometimes linear games that are open annoy me more. Because it's like they don't know what they want to be. Games these days, like AAA games, they just have to be bigger and longer. Oh dear lord. But they genuinely do. Like, imagine if Dead Space 4 came out, imagine Evil Within 3, Last of Us 3, the next Resident Evil game. Imagine if it was like, no, this actually is only a 12-hour campaign. Yeah, that's right, 12 hours shorter. Everyone would be up in arms. Yeah. I don't know if there's anybody out there who recently just completed Last of Us 2 since it came out a few weeks ago who's saying it wasn't too long, you know? Because it was. Over 30 hours for a game like that. It's only 32 hours complete. Maybe these kind of games could have a good... Like, this game's got a multiplayer. I played it when it came out. It was okay. A DLC, a multiplayer, you know, a season pass. Season passes seem to kind of be going out now. 5-10 years ago, there were a lot of season passes. Whoa! This guy's shouting at me. But yeah, they don't seem to be a thing anymore.
Is someone there? Anyone?
Anyway, we're going to fight our first Necro. So on hardcore difficulty, you can see I'm getting plasma energy in 3s here. On survivalist, you get them in 4s. On normal, 6, easy 9, I believe. But on hardcore, you get slightly less ammo than you do on zealot. On hardcore though, you only take survivalist level damage. So you actually take more damage on zealot. They probably did that to balance the game. Look at that guy though, I've never seen the first Necromorph do that, the very first guy though. He was ducking. Fuck. I think one of the main reasons that I prefer Dead Space 2 to the first game are the telekinesis kills. On Twitch, when a popular streamer plays the first game, there'll be loads of people in the chat telling the streamer to use the claws of the Necromorphs to shoot back at them, and it doesn't work in the first game. Like, you can do small damage, but it doesn't kill them outright.
Just try to stay in one piece.
But for some reason, people think that is a thing in the first game. This game did it best. Oh, my laptop's just gone to sleep. This game did it best, sorry, and holy shit, that jump scare. I just find it more satisfying on this game, because on Impossible mode in the first game, which is obviously ludicrously named, you still get the same amount of ammo that you would on normal, but the enemies in the first game are just a heck of a lot more tanky. And in this game, the enemies don't really get tankier as you progress. They just, the scenarios and the fights just get more complex and harder. And you encounter more enhanced slashers, leapers, lurkers, etc. And just allows the game to get progressively harder in a really nice and natural way. Man, I love this game. But we saw the first proper fight there, first proper encounter. Not many of the Necros in Chapter 1 will run at you. Very, very good game design. Just to allow you to get used to shooting them. They're still daunting when you first play the game. They'll still fuck you up on this difficulty, of course. Or a harder difficulty, but they don't actually sprint after you yet. Mr. Nolan Stross, ladies and gentlemen, a great character and quite a tragic story, really. And these guys coming up now will not run at me.
How'd you miss it?
Look, I don't need your help.
Fine.
Ooh, bloody hell. So for these early fights, we're just shooting the legs quickly, taking the claw, waiting for the next Necro to appear. Making sure to be looking around us at all times for the kill. There we have it, I do believe. There is a bit of bad gameplay in this whole playthrough. It's a long game, well, not a long game, but it's a long game to have to play incredibly well for the whole thing. Or a few strats that didn't go well. But with a difficulty like this, where, for example, something happens and you've got to react to it quickly and adapt, it is how you adapt, which is the most important thing. Come up with new strats on the fly and stay alive. I think this goes wrong here. This is an insta-kill. If you don't stasis this necromorph, then you just get killed. You get one-shotted on any difficulty, because it's a tutorial. A little hacking machine here and then. He runs at you. And I think I fucked the first shot up, which is absolutely ridiculous. There you go. That was very close to me having to reset and restart. Needless to say, I would have been absolutely freaking fuming. But yeah, just to reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, if I didn't say so before, there are 15 chapters in this game. We're going to be doing one video per chapter. I kind of didn't want to do it like that. I thought I'd been doing chapters 1 to 5, 6 to 10, and 11 to 15. Although every video would have been around about 2 hours long. So those are the pukers. And these initial guys don't puke at you, I don't believe. So I always just shoot them, take out the legs, make the plasma cutter vertical, and then kill them whilst they're on the floor. But you can catch the puke, and for the most part it's what I do in this game. Later on, when you get the contact beam, I do at least, a lot of time, is take them out using the contact beam. The contact beam is absolutely ridiculous in this game, and I love it.
fuck?
Bit controversial, but we will not be using the plasma cutter. I'll let you guys in on the weapons we'll be using. In this walkthrough, we'll be using the pulse rifle, the line gun, the force gun, and the contact beam. Like any good video game with a lot of different weapons, you might see other people who are very experienced at the game use different weapons. The javelin gun's pretty cool. Certain people really like the seeker rifle. It's not for me. It's just subjective, and it depends what your gameplay style is like, really. Plasma cutter is awesome, of course. The reason I use a pulse rifle over it is because the ammo stacks better. For example, in your inventory, 24 plasma energy will be 1 space in your inventory, and then it'll start stacking up higher. With the pulse rounds, it's 100. So 1 inventory slot is 100 pulse rounds. And also, the thing's got a freaking grenade launcher on it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, 195. So I've not got any of the annoying DLC. You play the Steam version of this game. It's got loads of DLC in the inventory. I hate seeing people use that shit. This game's upgrade system in the inventory. Pretty simple, but very fun. I've already got 4 nodes. Got a few DLC suits there, which you get for free. But we're not going to be using any free weapons or shit like that. Just get that engineering suit. My favourite suit in the whole of the series. I'm a simple kind of man. Damn. Love the music here as well. Dun, 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 dun. Alright. And we are going to fight now the tripod. Well, it's 255. And it goes okay overall. Doesn't go amazing though. There's a cheeky little power node. But it's a tough enemy to fight early on this thing. These enemies are not in Dead Space 1 as well, so it's a new enemy for anyone who back in the day played the game, first game, and then moved on to this. And you can tell you need to shoot its arms. The game makes it very obvious because they are orange. But it's very, very quick. And they're hard to shoot. Later on I'll use a contact beam for them. But here, see, use the stasis and shooting the orange arms. Thing is, I think this guy gets me once, but you don't want to get too far away from him because he'll jump at you. But if you stay far away enough from him that he doesn't jump at you, but not so close that he doesn't get you with a swipe like that, you strafe left and right. There's a jump move. Yeah, the strafe, look at the strafe there, moving left. Going to get more stasis. There you go. Dodging him. Those are really awkward to shoot. I've got this game on the PC, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, you see in the Xbox version here. Able to play this backwards compatibility. Because Microsoft, unlike Sony, actually give a damn about that thing. But I've got this on PC. I've played this game 60 FPS on the laptop. Maxed out settings, and oh my god, is the aiming obviously a lot easier. But I can't record that footage because it will not be 60 FPS anymore. My laptop would likely explode. But there we go. That fight is tricky for an early fight. And that is essentially chapter 1 done. Move on to chapter 2 next. We're going to get the line gun. Counter a few different enemies. And typically, the game continues to be bloody awesome.
I've been trying to keep it in check with memory suppressants.
You said you could fix it, right?
Only if you reach me in time. Tram station, get moving.
There's a first post-commentary I've done in over 3 years since my Resident Evil 4 professional difficulty walkthrough. And it essentially means you've got to play the game twice. It is difficult to do this, but it's worthwhile. Anyway, as Isaac climbs through the vents, I'll see you guys in Chapter 2. Thanks for watching.